Buongiorno to all you talking tennis watchers out there. It's been a long time. I've only actually done one stream so far this year. But yeah, Tom Grant here, bringing you the final of the Rotterdam Open between two players, Alex de Minaur, number 5 seed, and Jannik Sinner, of course, the number 1 seed and Australian Open champion. Should be a good win, although everything looks to be favouring Jannik Sinner, doesn't it? He's on a 14 match winning streak. I believe it is 15. Is it 15 matches or 14 matches winning streak? Looking to break records again this week. What a run this guy's on. By far the hottest player in the men's game right now. And we're going to bring you all the action. Plenty going on with the talking tennis world as well. Loads of coverage and content coming from all around the world. And that's what you get from this channel here on YouTube. So yeah, Tom Grant here, coming from my shed in Glasgow, whilst others are in Buenos Aires and Dubai, I think some are. So yeah, Dallas. We've got Miles, of course, over in not Dallas. He is in Dallas still, but yeah, we've got Miles out Delray Beach. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, plenty going on. Let us know your thoughts, where you're watching from. If this is the only way you're staying in touch with the Sinner de Minaur match, we'll go through a couple of ways to break down the last week and what else has been going on in the men's side of the game, and we'll touch on the women's as well. We've got, of course, Carlitos Alcaraz. If anyone watched that enthralling match last night against Nico Jarry, where he was beaten in a straight set. It's a bit of a shock there on the clay of Buenos Aires, where John Silk, our producer, he is actually at the event and bringing us some coverage, and he was sending me pictures of him asking questions to Carlos last night. So I'm sure we'll hear from John at some point. I think he's trying to get on and produce today's coverage. The players are just finishing their warm-up. I don't know if anyone's tuned into the coverage. There was a bit of an opera, a Dutch opera. There was a violinist, some guy in the umpire's chair rapping or singing. I don't know. I don't have any sound to my coverage, to my stream. And then we had dancers on court. So the players have warmed up. They are getting ready. I think they're making sure the court hasn't been is nice and dry for them. It hasn't been any sweat left by the performers on the court to the pre-match, to the event. But yeah, de Minaur, Sinner, really looking forward to this one. I know that Sinner has the 6-0 record, the 7th meeting of these two. Of course, these two met in the Masters 1000 event in Toronto last year, and also in the Davis Cup at the end of last year as well. Sinner has a 6-0 record against de Minaur, and the guy's in the form of his life. Of course, winning Australia, Melbourne last month, or the start of this month. But yeah, plenty going on. The players are about to start. It's de Minaur serving first, and it's Jannik Sinner. This is Alex de Minaur, who I really like. Alex de Minaur. I'd like to get into a conversation with some of you regarding this guy's ceiling, this guy's level. Is de Minaur now in this kind of bracket of players like Rublev, who beat the way to this final? Is he in that bracket of players just underneath the top four? The top four of Djokovic, Alcaraz, Sinner, who could go world number 3 today, overtaking Medvedev, and of course Daniil Medvedev, who didn't play here this week. A really strong rally to start off proceedings, and just as I say that, de Minaur backhands into the net. So it's love 15 in his serve. This one should be a long one. I know in the past, I think Sinner has bageled de Minaur in the last meeting in the Davis Cup finals. But yeah, I think this one will be, full of long rallies, lung-busting rallies, and that one to kick us off was no different. So I'll talk you through the next couple of points. Get yourself settled. Hi, Andy. Is this match happening? It is on my screen at the moment. I don't know why the scoreboard hasn't updated as yet. Well, there is no score, of course, as yet. There we go. Nice and time. I'm a little bit behind that on the stream, so I might change that at the first proper sit down. But yeah, De Minaur serves an ace where I'm at. So I'm at 30-15. So I'll try and catch up with the scoreboard in a little bit. But yeah, ignore the scoreboard. Let's get talking tennis. Coming for you from a shed in Glasgow. I was meant to be today, this afternoon, going out for talking tennis to the Challenger in Glasgow in Scotstoun. But trying to get accredited for that has proven itself to be a task in itself. So yeah, a bit of a struggle. Very jealous of Miles and John, and I think Strahari out in Dubai. So yeah, jealous of those guys. I'm in Glasgow. It's not too bad here in Glasgow. The weather, is staying dry, if not too warm. So, but yeah, back to the tennis. De Minaur, as you can see, has taken the first game. I'm kind of catching up. I'm at 40-30 now, and when they proper sit down after game 3, I will update the scoreboard so we're not a bit all over the place. But yeah, anyone got De Minaur with a fighter's chance in this? He is a scrapper. He likes the long rallies. Sinner though, is used to those long rallies after Australia. Of course, coming back from 2-0 down against Daniil Medvedev, and that's a really good point by De Minaur to take that game. 1-love. So well done fighting back from love 15 after a slow start. De Minaur takes that game. Onto the Sinner serve, of course, the Sinner serve, which has improved so much commented on over the last 4, 5, 6 months, certainly since the US Open. So yeah, Sinner, a tough man to break. He was under a bit of pressure, I think, under Gaelman Fils, but that kind of petered out. That was probably really his only scare of the week so far. Been fairly comfortable for the Italian. Mentioned a little earlier on, Sinner is bidding, he's on a 14-match winning streak. That's what it was. Yeah, 14 matches, going for number 15. He's looking to become the highest ranked Italian in the history of the ATP rankings today, since 1973, of course, if he wins this match. So let's look on at what's happening on the court. Sinner serving. Again, we're a little bit behind, but we will catch up throughout. Just spoke about that first serve, and the first point of the game is an unreturnable by Alex De Minaur. Who else is joining us? Andy, elaborate, please. Is this match happening? I'm not really too sure how to answer that. We are going to be joined, I believe, by Jethro and Bianca as well. I don't think I've streamed with these guys before, so that'll be interesting. We'll be able to, exchange our takes on tennis. I have caught up on the scoreboard now. I am at 30-love Sinner. So there you go. The magic of technology. So yeah, Sinner, 2 strong first serves, 1 unreturnable. I think that was an ace. As we go to 30-love Jannik. Sinner. Ball bouncing. Packed house in Rotterdam. Another strong serve down the tee, this time by Sinner. He puts the inside out into the court, and he just went wide with a volley though. Good return by De Minaur. As I said, he's a feisty character on the court, De Minaur. Probably a little bit introverted off the court. Doesn't do much in terms of, his compatriot Nick Kyrgios. But De Minaur, likes to bring it on the court, and he's one of these guys, one of the fittest, one of the fastest guys on tour. He's going to chase down most balls, and it'll be interesting to see if Sinner can find as many winners as he's been finding this week. He finds a winner there. Oh no, he didn't. Must have been a let. Just see what is happening here. Okay, Jethro isn't joining us. We've just been informed there. So it could be Bianca, just Bianca and I. If Bianca joins, I think she is running a little late as well. Oh, you guys have lost my camera. What's happening here? Start the camera again. Come on, Cam. There we go. Apologies for that, guys. You wanted somebody to look at, and you've got my ugly mug. So yeah, the players are rallying. Good strike, forehand there by Sinner. Cross court by Sinner. Goes a sliced backhand by De Minaur. That's one of his strongest weapons for me, and he's managed to force it. The scoreboard still hasn't caught up. In fact, I've overtaken the scoreboard now. So let me just try and amend that. Where is our scoreboard? And okay, so the scoreboard. I don't know why we're having a little bit of scoreboard problems. It's sometimes updating, sometimes not. We're at 30 all on the Sinner serve. So yeah, I really like the de Minaur sliced backhand. I think he can bring himself into points with Sinner on this one. Sinner, has improved the volley, hasn't he? But yeah, I think if de Minaur can maybe try and draw him in, de Minaur has a winner or two, or a passing winner or two in him. But yeah, Sinner, of course, the hottest guy on the planet right now in terms of the men's game, going for win number 15 in a row, hasn't been beaten in 2024. Came to Australia, hasn't played an event, and until the semi-finals hadn't lost a set, until Djokovic, nicked that third set. But kudos to Sinner for seeing it out. He's serving for 40-30. Second serve. The return wasn't found by de Minaur. He went into the net. And we have one game to endure this scoreboard, guys, and then I will change the scoreboard. And yeah, let's see where we go from here. So we're still on serve. De Minaur serving now at the top end of the picture as you watch on the screen. So here we go. So de Minaur goes long with the first serve. But so does Sinner on the second send return. 15-love. These two last met at the Davis Cup finals, as I mentioned, in Malaga at the tail end of last year. Sinner won 6-3 and then bageled 6-love in the second set. I just think we've got a different de Minaur these days. I really like watching Alex, the Demon. He's serving second serve again. Return cross-court backhand by Sinner. It's backhand to backhand at the moment. De Minaur switches it up to Sinner's forehand. Sinner on the stretch volley. Not a great volley by de Minaur, but the second volley de Minaur is put away. Lovely stuff by the Aussie. Holding his own so far. Yeah, as mentioned, don't think we'll see a bagel from either men this in today's match. But yeah, of course, Sinner career, he's world number 4 at the moment, but going for a world number 3 should he win this one. And he's also looking to tie Sandra Caccini for the most tour level singles titles by an Italian man or woman. So this will be his 12th, and that's since 1968, of course, the Open era. Sinner finds a backhand, finds a net. And we are still with serve as the first sit down of the match. And let me try and see if I can amend the scoreboard. Oh, somebody has amended it for me. I think we have Super Silk in the building somewhere. Yeah, John has joined us from somewhere in deepest, darkest Buenos Aires, and he has managed to update the scoreboard. So thankfully, we are on time with the scoreboard in the match. And yeah, getting into today's match, just a quick run through of the previous meetings between the pair. So I mentioned that Davis Cup one. They were due to meet at the Paris Masters again at the tail end of last year, but Alex de Minaur couldn't play that match, had to withdraw through injury. So Sinner got the walkover. Yeah. No, it was the other way around, sorry. And then Masters 1000, of course, that final 6-4, 6-1. It seems to be that from Sinner's wins, the first set can always be competitive. And then Sinner kind of does stretch away because it was 6-4, 6-1 at the Madrid Masters in 2022 as well. And then the Australian Open, they have met in a Grand Slam. It was 7-6, 6-3, 6-4 to the Italian. And what else have we got? Just making sure my camera's still going. Yeah, and then the second meeting was in Sofia. I remember that one actually. 7-6, 7-6, 6-4, 6-1. That was the last time that De Minaur took a set of Sinner. And then, of course, they met in 2019 in the Next Gen finals, which, of course, Jannik Sinner won. So 6-0 to Jannik Sinner. He serves here, 1-2 behind. Excuse me. And yeah, let's do it. Producer John is here. I like the sound. Like Ghost is here as well. How are we doing, Ghost? It's been a long time. I agree, Ghost. Mentioning in the chat that it's not a good matchup for the Aussie. Do we know why? What can we think of why, Ghost? Because is it just because Sinner's just got such a flat forehand that De Minaur can't? I mean, you would think that it would be a not bad matchup because considering how well De Minaur gets around the court, he's got the ability to put away passing winners as well. So I just wondered why it has been so dominant from Jannik Sinner. Hi, Ghost. Morning. So 15-0, Sinner serve. Sinner goes with a forehand long by De Minaur. I really liked. I watched De Minaur and Dimitrov. Didn't manage to catch the Sinner Greek Sport semi-final, but I just really liked De Minaur's. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think his serve isn't the greatest. I think he can. Yeah, no, I'd agree. It's hard to disagree with that. Sinner's has improved obviously over the last 5 months, which again that should give another tick into the Sinner column. I just like the way that De Minaur's played this week. He's went under the radar a little bit. Obviously, a lot of the focus on Jannik Sinner being the first event since the Aussie Open and being on this winning streak. And he's just gone long there. So as you can see by the scoreboard, we're on 30-all. Probably, it's going to be vital if De Minaur wants to do anything here. He needs to make, he needs to be the one that makes the breakthrough early. But it'd be hard to chase down Sinner, I suppose. So, yeah. No, hard to disagree with Ghost, with you, Ghost, and John as well. So yeah, but interesting start so far. De Minaur, De Minaur will be looking to try and see how long he can keep the rallies going, get it back into the court from the serve if he can, which he couldn't on that occasion. And as you can see from the scoreboard, it's going to be game point Sinner to level up at 2-all. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen since there's no reason for me to share my screen anymore since John has kindly taken over and fixed the issue. Right, so back to the tennis, just sorting out a couple of technical glitches. Jannik Sinner from the ad court. The player's backhand and it goes wide. So we're 2-all. Plenty of Italians in the crowd, of course, not too far from the Rotterdam event. It's got a good following. I've not seen the Carota boys though. Has anyone seen them this week? I've not managed to. To be fair, not managed to catch too much. I watched them on Feast Match for Sinner, but not caught too much of his matches. What match did I watch? And it was really good. Really enjoyed it. The Carota boys are there. John tells me. Okay, good. Usually you would see the camera go to them a lot more. So I'm sure they will at some point. Players are rallying. We're doing a forehand battle at the moment. It's a cross court forehand battle, which Sinner wins by De Minaur going wide and sniffing blood here. The first time, well, no, it's not. He actually won the first point of the match, didn't he, on the De Minaur serve? De Minaur handled it really well last time. So interesting. Like you say, he doesn't get many free points from that serve. It doesn't on this occasion, but his +1 is put away after a miss-hit return by Jannik Sinner. What vegetable would you pick for Demon? Good question. Potato? No. Is that? Yeah, no, not potato. So that was just what the first one that came off the top of my head. So okay, so John is away to chat up some Brazilians via the medium of podcasts. So good luck, John. We're going to get distracted here, and I'll just stick to the tennis while you guys in the chat talk. That one's going wide from de Minaur. Good rally. Sinner looking right in the match now. For any doubters like myself 10 seconds ago, thinking Sinner that there was maybe a chance for de Minaur. I'm going to look. I'll put my on the line. I think this will go 3 sets. And I know that de Minaur has won 2 sets. I thought it was actually 1 set. But Ghost tells me it's 2 sets that de Minaur has won over the course of their career together. I'm just going to double check that because I'm sure I read this morning that it was I think he's only ever won 1 set, de Minaur. In terms of, I think that was in the 2020 in Sofia on the hard court quarter final there, and they won it on a tie break. That's what I've got. I may be getting false information there, Ghost, but I actually think de Minaur's only ever won 1 set against Jannik Sinner. So yeah, I think so. According to hold on, I'll just do that. Jannik Sinner's just come into the net, and Jannik Sinner has his first break point of the match. No doubt the crowd will probably be in the Sinner camp, but throughout a match, if Sinner's cleaning up and de Minaur has a chance of taking this to a decider, I'm already handing Sinner the first set after not even the first break point, but we know how fickle tennis fans can often be, especially at the event. But yeah, hello Sean, hello Ghost again. Hi there, Sean. I think Jane's in as well somewhere. Good to see you. De Minaur went for the drop shot, didn't make it. Sinner was well back in the court, well past the baseline, and we have an early break of serve for Jannik Sinner. And this is going the way that many believed it would. Well, Ghost, math isn't my strong point either. It's why I'm a journalist, because I do words, not numbers. So yeah. Yeah, according to the ATP, do you know what? I'm trying to figure out how to... if I very quickly try and maybe share my screen... No, in fact, you know what? It doesn't matter. As I said, I'll kind of read you from what I've got from the media notes. So it was, next gen finals, 4-2, 4-1, 4-2. Sofia 2020, Jannik Sinner. It was 7-6. Jannik Sinner was the winner. It was 7-6 de Minaur, 6-4, 6-1. Then the Aussie Open in 2022, Jannik Sinner won it straight sets, 7-6, 6-3, 6-4. Then they went to Madrid in 2022 on the clay, 6-4, 6-1 Sinner. Toronto Masters 2023, 6-4, 6-1 Sinner. Ignore the Paris Masters one. And then 2023 Davis Cup Finals, 6-3, 6-love. So yeah, de Minaur, to my reckoning, has won 1 set against Jannik Sinner. So yeah, really interesting that, isn't it? And I think we've covered the reasons why that might be. Similar players, but Jannik Sinner just seems to be that bit stronger in most, if not all, departments. Okay, Doc. So players have had a quick rest. As I said, the arena in Rotterdam, I'm looking at the TV right now. There doesn't appear to be, a spare seat. And the Dutch do love their tennis. You heard the noise for Griekspoor. Couldn't believe Griekspoor. Funnily enough, I watched a bit of the Massetti Griekspoor match right at the top of the week on Monday night, I think it was. And I'm sure Musetti was a break up in that final set, and he was dominating most rallies. It was getting late, so old man Tom went to his bed. And then the next day I was checking like the schedule and Griegspoor was playing, and I'm like, how did this happen? So that's why you can never ever count out tennis. It was a good passing attempt there by de Minaur as Sinner came into the net. That was going in. And then, yeah, so I think as John Silk just cleared this up for us in terms of... Yes, he has, I think. Yeah. So 1 set, de Minaur has won, but he's fighting back. He's a scrapper, as I said right at the top of this stream. He's a battler, and as we say in Scotland, a grafter. So 15-all on the Sinner serve. Sinner first serve in. Good return by de Minaur. He's jumped backhand this time, de Minaur. They're backhand to backhand at the moment, but Sinner brings it onto his forehand, goes up to the ad court. De Minaur sliced backhand back into it, goes to the line, doesn't get it, and he hands Sinner the point, 30-15. I will at the end of this set also try and amend the lighting. I seem to be as if I'm a little bit in the shade a little bit. This is what you get with live streams. Let there be light. There we go. Is that any better? That's a little bit better. I've got my globe. So when you guys come on the stream and say, "Oh, I'm from, wherever it is you are," I can look yous up. You know what I mean? How smart's that? I agree, Ghost. The Aussie players. I think Kyrgios, your boy Kyrgios, your favourite Kyrgios, he's spoke about that plenty. Diego Schwartzman's also spoke about it for South American players in terms of it seems to be that the tour is obviously favoured for the Europeans and the Americans, isn't it? So, I mean, obviously South America, I don't really know the point in terms of, South America is not exactly a million miles away from the North American scene. So I would need to find that quote, but I remember Diego last year. I think he was on a bit of a bad run, if I'm being honest with you at the time, but I'm sure he mentioned that the Argentinians and South Americans get a raw end of the deal. Okay, so Sinner, game point 40-30. Tad behind the scoreboard. As you can see, they're on deuce. So let's just watch and find out what happened to get de Minaur back into this. I like that the Demon is fighting back a little bit. Easy to put the head down after the main man of the moment takes that early break. Maybe in a double. No, I'm not going to call it. But he's not made his first serve here, and that is where de Minaur has to hit. Is when Sinner's second serve here goes into the service box. The players are rallying. Forehand goes wide. It's a miss hit forehand. That timing was all off by Jannik Sinner. And we are at deuce. Yeah. Just sorry. I'm getting drawn into the chat, the talking tennis comments. So yeah, I'm talking about distance and South Americans and the players and the disadvantages and the advantages of being from a certain country. So strong serve by Jannik Sinner. How many times did that serve help him out to get that free point? And that's the difference, in terms of having that serve these days. You're going to be in sticky situations during matches. de Minaur applauds the quality of that first serve there by Jannik Sinner. But yeah, the serve, such a big thing when you're in trouble or when you're wanting to get that early lead. That's that strong serve to get maybe 4 or 5 3 points every set. Yeah, really good from Jannik Sinner to consolidate the break. Much slower second serve. Wasn't any kick to it either. And de Minaur comes into the net, but a passing backhand winner by Jannik Sinner. His shot of the match definitely so far to consolidate that break. 4-2 to the Italian. De Minaur tried to bide his time, tried to pick his moment to come to the net. He's put away a couple of volleys already, but not on this occasion. So we're at 4-2. de Minaur fighting just to stay in touch with the man in form, Jannik Sinner. Of course, number 1 seed against number 5 seed. de Minaur taking out Rublev in the quarters and Dimitrov in the semi-finals. Jannik Sinner beating home favourite Talon Griekspoor last night as well. Ghost, I like this. I like this point because I was thinking about this actually, a couple of days ago about a fifth major. Let's just hypothetically talk here as the tennis goes on, and I tell you, what surface would you have it on? Would you do indoor? Would you maybe think about an indoor slam? I just wondered because that was instead of where it was for me when I was thinking about a fifth slam, I was straight away thinking about the surface because we've got 2 on hard, 1 in grass, 1 in clay. So I just wondered, is there any particular surface you thought about this fifth slam? I don't know if John wasn't happy. I know that when I spoke to him, he mentioned that it was a bit of a rabble trying to get your questioning into the players. That was probably apart from it. Yeah, jostling with the media has been tough. There you go. Proving to John that I listen to him when he speaks and I don't just dismiss him. So yeah. I mean, that's what I want and what's good for tennis. Okay, well, what do you want? Our first question then would be, Ghost, what do you want? As a tennis fan, if they were to say, Ghost, we're thinking about a fifth major, what do you want to do? How would you answer that then, Ghost? What surface and where would you have it? And then we'll ask the next question, and what would be good for tennis? Now, both answers could be the same. Because I'm sure you're a man who has the good for tennis at the heart of your experience. de Minaur second serve 30-15. He goes deep with a forehand and makes a line and a backhand by Sinner goes wayward long. Yeah. John mentioned he doesn't want a fifth major. I want fewer tournaments, 8 1000s, keep the 250s. And to meltdown all the clay courts of just a series of coffee it's about to be a mistake. We're sorry, it's only hard for me. Hard. No, I can't agree with you there, Ghost. I do like my clay court tennis. So yeah. Okay, Jannik Sinner is 4-3 up with a break, serving next as the players sit down. Extend the challengers until they consume the main tour, quoting Damien. Gotta love Damien. Yeah, okay, so we're 4-3 into that. Any other highlights, John? What was that atmosphere? It looked like it was pretty intense, shall we say, with Nico Jarry and Alcaraz last night. I watched it on the telly. It was really, really enthralling. Watched some really great tennis by both guys. Alcaraz, of course, getting beat. But I thought he actually played a really good set when he was his back was against it. When he was a breakdown, he started playing some of his best tennis. Some of the lobs at the end, towards the end, was just really good. But yeah, I think it was his first time. He's beaten a number 3, a number 4, and number 5, Jarry, but I don't think he'd ever beaten a world number 2. And still hasn't beaten a world number 1. But I just wondered about the atmosphere, John. What was it like in there? It seemed that obviously everyone was for Carlitos. Okay, better atmosphere for Wawrinka versus Jarry. Okay. Well, that'll be an interesting watch tonight because, of course, Jarry against an Argentinian Costa. So, yeah, be good. Are you going to that, John? You going to the final tonight? Sure, he will be. New balls in Rotterdam. Sinner serves 4-3. Oh, so John's at the venue. I was wondering why you're looking very smart, John. Nobody can see John, but I can. But yeah. Okay, so 15 love Sinner. First serve goes into the net. How's the Argentinian vino, John? Right, backhand to backhand rally at the moment as de Minaur plays it right into the middle of the court. And that seems to confuse Sinner as he pushes his next backhand wide of the tram lines. So we're at 50-0. You know, Sinner hasn't so far had, you know, a comfortable service game. De Minaur has been making him work for that. But as I say, history tells us that the first set between these pair can be, you know, tend to be quite close. And then Sinner seems to run away with it. I don't know if de Minaur maybe runs out of a bit of steam or a bit of mental strength, because, you know, playing Jannik Sinner can't be, is not an easy task for anyone, as probably most of the players on tour have found out over the last 4 or 5 months. Yeah, Matthew, I've got to agree. I did notice that it was like so dead silent. It was almost like, because Alcaraz is, you know, I think his backhand, he's on the run backhand and went wide, and it was almost as if like it was a strange kind of atmosphere, because that was on match point, and then we were like, "Has Jarry won?" Because it was just so quiet as the players walked to kind of shake hands. It was just a kind of odd kind of atmosphere for 5 or 10 seconds. I think Jarry even spoke about it in his on-court interview afterwards, that he could tell he wasn't the the favourite out there. So yeah, well, it must be, yeah. And obviously Alcaraz being the champ there, you know, the fans tend to go towards their former champions. So Sinner, not a former champion here in Rotterdam, but he is on the way to 5-3 in the final the first set of the final. Sorry. De Minaur serving to stay in the first set. What about Carlitos? You know, how big a defeat for that? Of course, Jarry, as I say, has a good record against some of the best players in the world. But, you know, ever since that, you know, Cincinnati final, it's been a bit of a weird kind of time for Carlos Alcaraz. And I'd be interested to get you guys' thoughts on, you know, are people managing to work him out now? You know, he's still very, very young, and I don't want to hit the panic button for any Carlos fans, but, you know, in terms of, they've got to be disappointed that he's still, if I'm right in saying he's not made a final since Cincinnati, which has got to be, you know, maybe not worrying some Carlos fans, but yeah, just the, you know, Carlitos fans, let me know what the general thoughts are in terms of Carlitos Alcaraz, and, you know, ever since that, you know, Wimbledon final. I mean, since I've got to say Cincinnati final, because he played his way into a final. He was a set up against Djokovic, but, you know, losing that final seems to have, you know, had a lasting effect on him, a lasting impact. And I just wondered if any Carlos fans out there are, because I'm a Carlos fan, I'm not going to lie, I like a bit of Carlos. I think he's one of the players that I would tune into to most, if not every match he's playing, no matter where and what time. And I just wondered where the Carlos fans think his 2024 so far, how it's been. Of course, yeah, I get it. No, I know everyone's going to say Carlos is still very, very, very young, and I get it. Okay, and I'm not trying to be, you know, a panic merchant here in terms of Carlos Alcaraz. But, you know, as I said to you, let's go back to the Cincinnati final. He's just won a 5-set against Djokovic at Wimbledon, you know, and then, you know, out of nowhere, you know, comes that Medvedev defeat in the semi-finals of the US. He looked pretty tame against Djokovic when playing about the ATP finals. You know, Djokovic didn't really have to do much to win that one. Zverev has beaten him now twice on the hards. And, you know, it just, you know, that performance. Yeah, no, I get it, Matthew. I mean, like I said, Panic Merchant. It might be Scottish. It might be Scottish. So yeah, I don't know. Panic Merchant. You can have it. No, listen. I can see that there's a lot of people who might think that I'm going over the top, but these are conversations that we need to have in terms of just taking a step back and saying, right, okay, we know he's 20, but if I'd said to you the day after the Cincinnati final, he'll not make another final until March next year or whatever. I don't think a lot of you guys would have said that at the time, that nah, you're kidding me on, Tom, what are you talking about? So listen, as I said to you, big Carlos fan, probably my favourite player to watch on tour at the moment. And I just that was an event that he's won. He's going to to defend his title, and again doesn't make that final. But yeah, like you say, Matthew, great point. Only 20, not even got his 21st birthday. Of course, he'll have that in Madrid, wasn't it? Every year he gets a cake on the courts of Madrid, doesn't he? And 2 majors, 4 masters, and he's not exactly losing first round. You are right. No, I mean there's been a couple of niggles, hasn't there? There's been a couple of injuries. There was Cincinnati. Do you know what? I'll tell you. I'll get his record up. By the way, Sinner serving for the first set now. de Minaur again, staying on track with him. First serve goes wide. Players are rallying at the moment. Really good rally. This one, best for a while. Backhand, slice backhand by de Minaur. It looks like de Minaur being the more aggressive player there, and he takes the first point of the Sinner service game to take the first set. Right, let's look. Alcaraz. I mean, you'd be surprised. So after Wimbledon, he played Toronto at the 1000 there. Tommy Paul beat him, of course, in 3. He then played Cincinnati, of course, that match against Djokovic, being a setter and a breakup, and then Djokovic, claiming that marathon match. Medvedev then beat him at the US Open, as mentioned. It was Sinner who beat him in Beijing. That was in straight sets, including 6-1 in the second set. Dimitrov then beat him in Shanghai in 3, 6-2, 7-5, 5-7, 6-2, 6-4. Grigor. Roman Safin beat him in Paris, of course, in the round 32. Djokovic beat him in the semi-final of the ATP finals. And then so far this year, it's been Zverev and Jarry. So again, yeah, he was injured for a bit. I get it. And, I want him to go on and have a stellar career. Yeah. So anyway, watch this space in terms of Carlos. I hope he goes on to win every event he enters for the rest of 2024. Right, 15-all. We're going cross-court battle at the moment. Again, it looks like de Minaur's been the aggressor. I think he's trying to take the racket from Sinner, and he's managed to go down the line, and Sinner can only hit the net at stretch. Really well played by Alex de Minaur. Marichan beating him in Rome. Yeah, that's right. That was obviously pre-French. Yeah, I think that Greenwich 2011. I think Greenwich. I think you're right. I really want to see them again at a slam. Of course, who can forget that US Open? I can remember staying up late to watch that one. That was a good one. My son had just been born, so he was just sleeping just beside us, and I was just glued to the television, like, what is this level? Okay, so I mentioned the Sinner serve earlier on. Sinner's managed to serve his way out of any sense of trouble there. An ace there to sniff out the Minaur challenge, and he is at 30 all. 7 for the first set. The last serve, 209 kilometres per hour. Really strong wide serve this time by Sinner. He used that a lot in Australia. The players are backhand, forehand by Sinner goes right in deep to the corner. Minaur can't get any purchase on it, and Sinner has a set point. Yeah, it was, yeah. Ghost, sorry, I was answering Ghost's question. Remember, if you're here for the first time and you haven't subscribed or liked the channel, make sure you do so. To give you an example of the content, well, I'll tell you straight after this set point. I'll tell you in between the two sets. That's the real professionalism. First set goes into the net from the Italian first serve. Sorry, first set. Sets on the brain. Good return by Minaur. Again, it looks like he's the one in charge of this rally here. It was more like a half volley, and Sinner nets again. And Minaur should take heart from this. If he becomes the aggressor and he takes charge of the rallies, Sinner isn't too comfortable with Alex doing that. So again, bold statement from me that I said this will go to 3. We've only had one break of serve. It was really the first opportunity that Sinner had created. I think it's the only break point of the match so far, and Sinner has taken it, and he is now at deuce though, 2 points away from the first set. You'll need this big serve. Is it going to go out wide? It does go out wide. Minaur read it, managed to get a block return back. It goes wide, and Sinner didn't really put the smash away too handily, but did enough. And it's I know set point number 2 for Jannik Sinner. Backhand by Sinner, strong backhand. It's he that's in charge of this rally on the set point. The second set point, backhand cross court. Forehand this time by Sinner. Backhand by Sinner. Minaur clips the top of the net. Minaur slice backhand. Sinner forehand into the corner of the court. He switched up this time. Minaur sticking with him. This is a really good rally. Punching hell out each other, these two. Backhand by Minaur. Backhand by Sinner. It's a really good rally. It's still going, and Sinner goes long with that one. Really well played by Alex Minaur. Not going away. I said he was a scrapper. He's sticking with him, and that's what you've got to do against the guy who has won the last 14 matches, including the Australian Open. Excuse me, losing my voice there. I'm sure, I was just checking out, see that one that they played in Sofia. I'm sure that Sinner had won that event, and he did. He won it that event when he beat Minaur, and I think that was the last time Minaur took a set off him. So, I'm sure that he'd won that event, because I can remember sitting there and watching it, because I wasn't well. Anyway, let's go back to the terrace. Minaur, it's a really good pickup by Sinner. Oh, and he's read where Minaur's went. Oh, Minaur had the chance. He had got up to the ball. He just fired the ball straight across the net. Sinner guessed which way he was going, and it was almost like a block volley. Minaur will be absolutely kicking himself that he didn't take up that point, because he had Sinner exactly where he wanted him. Sinner guessed right, and it's sometimes all about the luck. Minaur shakes his head, looks to his box, thinks, Jesus, right, what? Good eye, mate. What am I going to do here? God, that's terrible. Right, so we're still on set point number 3 by Sinner. I don't know how many Aussies I've insulted there. I'm not very good at accents. I'm so glad I never became an actor. Right, so set point number 3. Second serve though, Sinner. Minaur gets the serve, almost mistimed it, almost went too early, did Minaur. and that's allowed Sinner to pretty much be in charge of that. He's caught the line there with a backhand up the line, Sinner. De Minaur now backhand, and Sinner hits the net though. A little bit lucky there for De Minaur. He'd almost mistimed the return on the kick second serve, and we're back to deuce. Is this not deuce number 4, 5? Competitive though. This is what we wanted from a final. It has been competitive. Okay, Sinner goes for the wide serve. You know, De Minaur's reading that now. He knows that he likes the wide serve from the deuce court. As most right-handers do, I suppose. Really good return by De Minaur. This is his chance again. He's come into the net. He hasn't put it away, but he's put a volley, and this time Sinner puts the next one away. Just all over the place, De Minaur. He didn't really manage to get his feet in order there with the first volley, and Sinner picked him off when he was in no man's land. Again, De Minaur on deuce had the chance. He was all over Sinner there, but he just didn't do enough with that volley, and Sinner managed to get the pick up. Well, yeah, the volley just wasn't enough. The volley was pretty much right back at Jannik Sinner. Remember, hit the like button on this episode and subscribe, and I will tell you exactly why you should be following Talking Tennis on all channels. You know, Facebook, Instagram. There's an Instagram where you can just click on the story and you'll be brought straight to the live stream. Of course, Twitch and Twitter. Sinner is twitching because he has just went long with a +1 forehand after a second serve return from De Minaur. We're on deuce number 6 now, I think. De Minaur playing well, and that's what we've talked about. You know, a grafter. He's a grafter, and yeah, he's sticking with Sinner. Needs to, because you really think it will be too hard to overcome a Sinner who's already had a set lead. Second serve, Sinner hits the top of the net on his first serve, and he actually changed it up, to be fair. He went down the tee. Of course, like I said, I think De Minaur started to read that wide serve. Second serve into court. De Minaur goes loopy with a backhand. You've got a pick up with a sliced forehand there. It's Sinner that's in charge of this rally, but Sinner then hits another forehand and then goes long. Wide. And yeah, we've got a break point. Alex De Minaur, this is his first of the match. We've only had one so far. Sinner took it. Okay, Bianca is no longer joining us either, so it's just myself. You guys will be glad to know. So I will take you through the rest of this one. Not a problem at all. Just keep the chat flowing. Is he going to put this away? Sinner, oh, he's got the breakpoint. De Minaur's got it, but Sinner puts away the smash. And the Rotterdam crowd loving that one. De Minaur not so much. Sinner coming into the net. De Minaur got the pickup just, of course, one of the most athletic guys on the tour. Well done, Jannik Sinner. Composure to put that one away. Sean Power, thank you very much for the donation. What was Leo DiCaprio's name in Basketball Diaries? Are we going back to that one? My low moment in my talking tennis career, when I was in here chatting nonsense about Leo DiCaprio. The less said about that, the better, shall we? Anyway, this marathon game, how long have we got? Come on, tell us, how long has this game been going on for? De Minaur, he's went long there. He's got another break point. It's De Minaur who's the aggressor here. Sinner, not being able to check the feet out. But yeah, Sinner's come into the net. De Minaur's read it. He's played the ball right at Sinner's feet, and that volley can only go sailing long. Yeah, Greenwich. I would agree, and the reason being is Yeah, I mean, I just love the way that Amazon's so easy for me in terms of like, I've got an iPad here, and I've got my phone and my laptop. So, because I would be signed into all three. If I was doing a stream like this, I could literally just, whatever when I wanted, load it up, watch the stream, do the talking tennis stuff, and it was pretty easy. Whereas now it's a bit of a faff for me to do. And if I've only got the one main Sky channel, unless they're going to show the men's match, then I can't watch it. So, like for instance, the first semi-final yesterday, I had to go looking for it because the Sky Sport Tennis wasn't showing it on the main channel because they were showing the ladies' final, which is fine. But this is some rally, by the way. And Minaur has just broken back with Jannik Sinner on the ground. He's fine, he says to Minaur, who goes to check on him. But I think he's just been taking the lungs away from him because Minaur just won't go away. 5-all. Ghost, good to speak to you. But peace to you as well. Thanks very much for hanging about for the time that you did. Yeah. Well done, Alex de Minaur. For those who scoffed. For those who scoffed at 2 seconds. Those who scoffed that Alex de Minaur had a fighter's chance. Where are you now? Is that light improved at all? 2 seconds. I'm just going to try and improve the lightage of this room. Any better? That's a bit better, isn't it? Now you guys can see me and it's not just a dark shadow. Some of you might be saying why. Just go back to the way you were. You ugly boy. Right, so, right, de Minaur. Now, can he make this count? Can he keep on his foot on the gas and try and see if he can squeeze out this first set somehow? De Minaur comes into the net and it's a good passing attempt by Jannik Sinner. Stretch volley by de Minaur, which had to take me a minute for the camera to sort itself out. But yeah, it was a really good attempt by Sinner. You wouldn't be surprised if Sinner hits back here. He's love 15 on the de Minaur serve, who has already broken in this set. The swap breaks. Sinner was serving for the first set a minute ago, but it's no longer. Okay, so Sinner, first serve return, and he's went long with that. He's feeling that side of the back again, as Jannik Sinner. Could this be something going on? A minute ago, he was on the ground. It looked like it was just because it had been such a marathon rally from himself and de Minaur. But no, he still kind of goes to that whenever he hits the ball long or wide. And he's had a couple of mishits in this match, hasn't he? Good first serve by de Minaur, but really good return by Sinner. De Minaur tries the wrong footing by going back the same way and then tries it for a third time and only hits the top of the net. You would have thought that if that had made it over the net, it would have, it would have put Jannik Sinner to bed. I'm just interested there by the serving speeds. We had a 209 kilometers an hour ace by Jannik Sinner. By the boards to the side of the court here, it was 172. That just shows you the difference in serving by these two players. Okay, 15-30. De Minaur goes down the tee with this serve and it wrong foots Jannik Sinner, who then goes wide with his scaffed return. Good final this. Enjoying this. For 5-all, 30-all. Wide serve by de Minaur. He goes for the 1-2 wide serve and the +1. Sinner gets to the ball, but de Minaur puts this volley away. Really good play by Alex de Minaur. And he's got game point to get himself into the lead in this set. Hasn't had the lead since the fourth game, or since the third game, really. He was 2-1 up. Sinner then levelled up, and then Sinner then broke serve. So, good fight back here from the Aussie. Good that we've got a competitive final here as well. Many would have thought, given Sinner's record against Alex de Minaur, it was going to be a relatively comfortable afternoon, but it still may be. But right now, Alex de Minaur fighting back from a breakdown game point there. But again, the rally, de Minaur been active, pummeling forehands down at the moment. Sinner matching every single one, and then Sinner puts away an astonishing backhand winner cross court as de Minaur was coming into the net. I said about 10 minutes ago that was his shot of the match. That one's got to be even better, given the context and where we are in the match. That was lovely by Jannik Sinner. Really, really nice. Juice, we are at a replay of Sinner taking the accolade off the Dutch crowd. Wide serve there by de Minaur, and then he tries the wrong foot, Jannik again, and this time he goes wide. So Jannik Sinner has a break point. Both players breathing heavily. I said at the start this was going to be, filled with, these long rallies. Both players athletic, both players quick. First serve down the tee by Alex de Minaur. Backhand to backhand. It's a backhand battle at the moment. This time, Sinner was the one that changed it up. He went down the line. De Minaur read it, and now he's in charge of the rally. De Minaur coming into the net. Jannik Sinner can only hit the tape at his side of the net, and the ball does not go over. So we're at deuce. De Minaur in his bright orange top. I think that's the same colours that Jannik Sinner was wearing on his way to the Melbourne title in Australia. So we're at deuce. First serve into the net. He tried to go down the tee again. More than likely, this is just going to go into the body of Jannik Sinner. Tried to take a bit of pace off it. It does. Forehand by Sinner. Miss hit by de Minaur on the +1, and Sinner has another break point. Really needs this de Minaur after fighting back so well. Sinner serving for the set 10-15 minutes ago. De Minaur, after a marathon game, managed to get his nose back into it, but he faces his second break point of this game. Good first serve. Sinner's timed it well though, and the players are now in the middle of a rally. Where can this go? Another, he's trying to shorten it. He's left it, and has he made it? Oh, mistake by de Minaur. Okay, Sinner has broken serve. Give you a download of what just happened there. De Minaur looked in charge of the rally, and he then, Sinner had played it into the middle of the court, a short ball into the middle of the court. De Minaur took advantage with a really, really strong forehand into the corner of the ad court, and then Sinner hit a winner, but it was a look that was just, hitting in hope more than anything, and de Minaur has left that ball, and it is dropped and hit the line. So an hour into this match, Sinner will be serving for it for a second time, 6-5. So really, really interesting to hear from Alex de Minaur after that one. He could have just, put it away. Maybe he didn't have full faith in his volleying ability from that particular position. And this will be a blow to de Minaur, because, again, going back to the past meetings, I'm relatively sure he hasn't managed to get him anywhere close to a breaker for a long, long time now. 6-3, 6-0, 6-4, 6-1. So, the last time he did was in the Aussie Open, when he got him to a breaker, and only managed to claim 3 points in that. So that was Aussie 2022. So over 2 years and 4 meetings, he hasn't managed to get this far. So he'll be kicking himself after fighting his way back into it, that he is kind of let it go with such a kind of brain fart, shall we say, of a moment for the Aussie. Okay, so here we go. 1 hour, the clock hits. The standard camera shot from the gallery at the world feed or Sky, whoever's doing it these days, does the clock changing over. We're 1 hour in, a 205 kilometre per hour down the tee serve by Jannik Sinner brings up 15 love. De Minaur asked for a little bit of time just while he tightens up the shoelaces of the Asics, his red Asics that he's playing with, matches his top. Jannik Sinner, serve, tries to go for the ace wide, doesn't find it. Second serve. This time, looping. Did that cut the line? It did catch the line. De Minaur's in charge of this rally. Sinner on the stretch again. He's going to put him away. He does. De Minaur, well done. Really well played by the Demon. Got right on top of that second serve from Jannik Sinner. He had him on the stretch right away. I mean, a line ball, a tram line ball, had put the pressure on Jannik Sinner. So we're still in this one. For any Aussie fans, any De Minaur fans out there, still in this one. 50-0. But a strong first serve, and De Minaur knows he tried a block return. That's what you've got to do against Jannik Sinner sometimes, just block return, Andy Murray style, block return, get yourself into the rally, and then wait until you can try and get a foothold into it. That's probably what De Minaur was thinking there. But that block return just went well loopy and long. 30-15. Second serve needed this time from Jannik Sinner. Hits the net. I'd be interested to see his serving stats, actually, which I will look at the end of this first set. De Minaur needs to be on top of that serve. He goes right at the feet of Sinner. A good forehand cross court. It looks like Sinner's on top of this rally, though. He's dictating where the ball's going, and it was an almighty effort by De Minaur. The shot wasn't really on. He tried to go cross court, almost like a winner, and he puts it long, and it's 2 set points for Jannik Sinner. And surely this time, I think this is set point number 4 or 5. 4 and 5, I believe. Number 5, so it's set point number 5. He had 4 in that marathon game, not 20 minutes ago. So set point number 5 for Jannik Sinner. And he wins it with an ace. Down the tee, confounding everybody like myself, who he's been serving that exact serve wide every single time because he loves that point. He won him so many points in Australia. But Jannik Sinner takes the first set 7-5 in 1 hour and 4 minutes. But yeah, so as I said to you guys, lots happening in Talking Tennis. So there's a good few of you guys in the channel right now. Like, subscribe. Going to be a big year 2024 for the channel. And just to give you an example of the kinds of content we're going to be bringing you, go to the YouTube channel. You'll see interviews with Carlos Alcaraz that have been asked by Talking Tennis content contributors. But so what was I told earlier on today by John? Yeah, so today is a unique day in the Talking Tennis history. You've got 3 people on the ground in 3 very different locations around the world, around the tennis world. So we have Srihari in Dubai for the WTA 1000. We've got Miles at Delray Beach at the ATP 250. Of course, it's Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz later on this evening. And then you've got John Silk in Buenos Aires. He's actually at the event right now producing this stream. And he is in Buenos Aires for the 250 there, of course, the clay court event there that Carlos Alcaraz was beaten in last night, the defending champion. So yeah, loads going on. I was actually meant to be at the Challenger in Glasgow as well. So that would have been 4 people bringing you tennis content from events around the world. Didn't manage to work out, unfortunately. In fact, let's check. Did Jubb win that one? Been keeping an eye on that all week. I was keeping an eye for Hamish Stewart, who was the Scottish interest. Well, Eddie McHugh was there as well. But Hamish Stewart managed to make his way to the quarterfinals. He's only second challenger. And he managed to make his way to the quarterfinals. and unfortunately was put out. But I think Paul Jubb was winning it. No, it was Clement Shadik had won it. Paul Jubb won it the first set, 6 lovely bageled Shadik, and then it was 6-4, 6-1 by the Frenchman. So no British winner at that Glasgow Challenger there today. Okay, back to this one. The players are ready to start set 2. I did say it could have went to a decider. De Minaur not happy about something in the crowd. Maybe it's one of those pre-match dancers still, sitting there in their onesies. Oh, it's the light from a camera. So some channel is doing an interview, and the light on the camera, the LED light, is really right into De Minaur's eye line, and he's asked the umpire to ask them to move, which they've done. So we start the second set. It's 7-5 Sinner in the first. De Minaur starts us again. He started the first set. So let's see where we go with this one. Really good tennis match so far. And the players are back at it again. Went up the line by De Minaur forehand. De Minaur looks in charge of this rally. He's moving Sinner about from side to side. But it looks like now Sinner has taken claim of it. Sinner's coming into the net. De Minaur's gone for the lob, but it's went long. Well played, Jannik Sinner. That's experience of playing the best players in the world on a regular basis, such as Jannik Sinner there. He just changed the flow of the rally with that sliced backhand. And when he knew that De Minaur where he was going to go with his sliced backhand attempt, that's when he took charge. That's when he came into the net, and that's when he won the point. So love 15. Fingers crossed we don't have another second set like we have had in the last meetings between these two. We've had a bagel, we've had a couple of 6-1s, we've had a 6-2, but De Minaur, I'm telling you, this is a different demon from those days. I've really been impressed as the last 8-9 months with Alex De Minaur. In fact, the last 12 months. Let's go for the last 12 months. I think he's now played his way into that kind of that bracket. Of course, the big talking point from men's tennis recently over the last 24 hours has been that Tsitsipas is leaving the top 10 of men's tennis, which, a quirky stat is it will be the first time ever that there hasn't been a single-handed backhander in the top 10 of the men's game with the departure of Tsitsipas. I think Tsitsipas has been in it since he first entered it in March 2019. Something it's been a really strong record from the Greek to hang in there. Not had the best of times more recently, and that's a lovely hold that thought. Really nice play by De Minaur. Okay, so he's done the most delicate of drop shot there. It's trickled over the net. Barely any space between the net and the ball as it dropped. Sinner got up to it, but the whole court was left exposed for Alex De Minaur. And he's got 2 game points at 40-15. First serve is into the net, however. And you can imagine Jannik Sinner will be on top of this second serve. So a really strong second serve. It just swung into the tee box just at the last moment, but it's still Sinner on top of that. But Sinner goes wide with a backhand down the line attempt. And De Minaur takes an early lead into the second set as the players have a quick drink, a quick changeover. But let's look at that stat. Right, so actually, happy birthday to Alex De Minaur for yesterday. Forgot to mention that earlier on. He was 25 on Saturday, and he's looking for his 7th ATP Tour title. But the stat I wanted to tell you was that De Minaur guaranteed himself to return to the top 10 by his win against Dimitrov. And the interesting stat, so he'll be at number 9. But by De Minaur doing that, he has pushed Stefanos Tsitsipas out of the top 10 for the first time since March 2019. Tsitsipas has been there for 5 years, 237 consecutive weeks from Stefanos Tsitsipas. He's been in there. But as I said, the key point, and it was floating about on social media last night, was but it's the first time It'll mark the first time in the Pepperstone ATP rankings history since 1973 that there will be no player with a one-handed backhand inside the top 10. What are your thoughts on that? Is this a trend of where the game is going? Do you think this sits a pass and maybe Dimitrov will be back into the top 10 in no time, so it doesn't really matter? Thoughts on that? Greenwich, really good for the contribution here, mate. I like that. So, I think the two-handed backhand is just a stronger backhand. Players with one-handed backhands need much more time on the ball. And if you don't have a good slice, it becomes a liability. Really good insights, Fi Greenwich. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you are liking, subscribing, and following. This channel isn't even 2 years old, and we already have over 5,000 subscribers, and it's going to grow and grow and grow. So you may as well get yourself on at the ground level before it blows up. We've got, as John and I mentioned, we've got guys all over the world coming to you from big events. I'll hopefully be joining them someday soon at one of the events, and I'll be bringing you the big stories from the big events, one day, and we can all talk tennis together. But we're on it in Rotterdam today. I'm not. I'm in as John calls it, my shed in Glasgow, just having a watch along for this final of the ABN AMRO Rotterdam Open. 15-all on the center serve. De Minaur goes down the line with a blocked backhand, and he's going to be kicking himself. Well, Alex De Minaur, he had taken control of that rally, and he just then, found the net when he was just looking to approach. Really, really disappointing for the Australian. And we've got 30-15 to Jannik Sinner. What have you guys thought about Jannik Sinner's run? Is he the favourite for Miami and the Indian Wells, the Golden Swing coming up, the Sunshine Swing coming up? Is he the favourite for that for you guys? In terms of, he's undoubtedly the number one player on the planet right now, even if his ranking after today, or after a win today, will be number 3. Pardon me. 40-15, De Minaur goes long on a second serve return again. He'll be disappointed with that one. I think the coaches are saying as much. And after this, I'll make sure the laptop's charged. Let us know where you're watching us from as well. There's a good few of you guys in this room at the moment. Let us know where you guys are watching us from. If I don't know where it's from, I can just go to my wee globe that I've got here sitting behind me, and I'll find you. But let us know where you guys are watching us from, what time it is, what's the weather like, and what's a well-known dish, a well-known eating dish from your part of the world. Let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know if you're watching the match or you're watching us, just help us contribute to whatever's going on in the tennis world. Who'll win that one tonight? Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz, an All-American battle. It was an All-American semi-final lineup in Delray Beach. You think of Tommy Paul to make it 2 weeks in a row as a title winner. Of course, winning the Dallas Open last week, beating Marcus Giron, who incidentally Taylor Fritz beat in the semi-final of that one in Delray Beach. Sorry, getting distracted by the players because both men are into a pretty ball-busting rally here, and it's De Minaur who doesn't, who basically, it was Sinner who blinked first, a miss hit that goes long. So we're at 30 love, sorry. De Minaur will be happy. I mean, not happy that he's not won that first set, but he's staying competitive. It might be stretching to say he's going to take this set, but he's doing his best. He's going for the old +1. It's a wide serve. He got lucky there. Didn't really find the corner with a +1 De Minaur as he may have liked. But Sinner, seeing that De Minaur had come into the net, a pretty lackluster attempt at a lob that went miles long. De Minaur wasting no time. Serve down the tee, and it's an ace to take that one. 2-1. Well done, Alex De Minaur. As the players have a sit down, I am going to find my laptop charger. I don't want you guys staring into nothing. So give me one little second. So yeah, no single-handed backhander. Greenwich makes a really good point about the pros and cons of a single-hander to a two-hander backhand. But anyone else out there, do you think this is just the way that tennis has gone over the last 10, 15 years? Different physiques, different kind of game strategies, and tennis always evolves. There are always changes in the way people play. You've still got Tsitsipas, you've got Dimitrov, who can't be far off making a break into the top 10 again, given 4 semi-finals, something like that recently. So Dimitrov can't be too far away either. But it just shows you, with the likes of, Federer leaving the sport, it just shows you that these young guns are doing it differently. So yeah, new rankings coming out tomorrow. Sinner could be number 3 in those rankings. He is a few games away, still to break down the De Minaur resolve once and for all. But he is going a good way. He's broken twice to Alex's once. And yeah, so we have we're with serve in the second set. As mentioned, the cameras are floating about the centre court in Rotterdam at the ABN AMRO Open. Not a spare seat to be had in the house. A couple of beers the guys are enjoying. Still not seen the Carota boys, mind you. We might get to see them should Jannik lift the trophy. We're getting an insight into a particular couple who are eating M&Ms. For anyone who cannot watch the stream, I don't know why. I don't know who these people are, but the camera has been focusing on them. And anyway, I digress, as did the cameraman. So we're on to it now. We've got forehand from Sinner to the De Minaur backhand. Sinner is hitting it well now. Sinner's got De Minaur all over the court. To be fair, De Minaur is finding it every time. Sinner goes for the volley, De Minaur goes for the lob, and a smash by Sinner. One of the points of the match so far. De Minaur applauds him and smiles because, wow, Jannik Sinner. That was a tasty, tasty point. Looked for all the world that Sinner had it comfortably, but De Minaur hung in there. Sinner was going corner to corner. Again, De Minaur gets there. He changes it up with a sliced backhand. Sinner goes for the volley. De Minaur gets the volley, and then Sinner puts away the smash. So fair play to Alex De Minaur. But Jannik Sinner just got that extra edge of quality to any other guy he's played this week. Second serve, Jannik Sinner. First serve just short of 200 kilometres an hour. And the +1, it was a weak second serve in all honesty. Wasn't even the best return, but a bit of a miss hit, mistimed from Jannik Sinner. Goes long, and it's 15-all. Of course, Daniil Medvedev was the champion who will be replaced today. Not here in the Netherlands this week. Serve, Sinner goes back to the old trusty, goes for the wide serve, takes his opponent out wide. Again, didn't make too much of the +1, and De Minaur, there's a reason why he's sitting there head in hands. He just basically put the ball long when he had a bit more time to do something more with it. So Sinner equals good, mom equals the best, was a sign they were seeing. Wee sook. Do you guys say sook? Hey, Sean, good question. Okay, I played a lot of football, golf, and tennis when I was younger. So it would be football on a Saturday morning and on a Sunday afternoon. So it was Saturday and Sunday. Golf would usually be Saturday afternoon if the weather was decent. And I used to go to tennis a Tuesday and a Thursday as a young pup. Never in the house. But God, age is catching up with me. Played 11s last night, Sean. No, Friday night. Played 11s for the first time in 4 or 5 months. Played 60 minutes. And honestly, I was going to go for a run yesterday. Couldn't do it because I was just like, I'm too stiff. So I went for a run this morning. A Sinner doesn't put away a volley. He's going to put away a smash this time. He does. Sorry, guys. Sean was asking me about my sporting background, my sporting heritage. Yeah, don't mind giving a little bit of insight into. I'm a very sporty character, but back to the on-court action rather than the off-court. Yeah, really good by Jannik Sinner. Again, Minaur though, just staying in the rallies. But Sinner isn't one of these guys who's going to be fazed by this. Minaur's game plan: stay in the rally, hope he makes a mistake. And to be fair, Sinner has made a few mistakes in this. But that won't go on. And I don't think he's going to win as many free points for that. Saying that, Sinner has just went long with his +1 again, and we're on another deuce. Now, do you remember was the break here? A couple of worried Italian faces in the crowd. Sinner box. Not really showing much emotion. Straight-faced. They've got to be concerned. A couple of errors creeping into the Sinner game. That strong first serve can't help him there because he's just hit the net. And as has Alex de Minaur. Again, that one just looked a little bit. Sinner took a lot of pace off that serve, and it's completely like dumbfounded. Alex de Minaur. He thought the ball was coming a little bit quicker to him, a little bit higher. He's almost had to stretch to rework his body and get any racket onto that ball, any string onto ball. So 146 kilometers per hour just shows you how much pace was taken off that one by Sinner. Sinner's tried to come to the net. De Minaur's read it, and well done, Alex de Minaur again. So Sinner came into the net. De Minaur tried to go for the passing up the line. A stretch volley by Sinner keeps the rally going, but not for the next shot because Alex de Minaur puts it away. Well played, Alex de Minaur. Composure, going it fast. Didn't have a lot of court to work with, but had to pick his spot and did so. Deuce again. Come on, Alex. Might be impartial, but I just what a good match here. Listen, I like Jannik Sinner. I really like Jannik Sinner. I love watching play. And de Minaur's got a looping forehand. And he's now done a slice backhand. Sinner is looking like he's in control of this point, but he just hit the net. Commentators curse. We have a break point alert for Alex de Minaur to take an early lead in this second set. What is going on, Jannik Sinner fans? Where is Jannik Sinner going wrong in this moment in time? Something came off the ball there, didn't it? Like, de Minaur just handed something back. I don't know if it's something's come off his racket or his shoes. I think it's maybe come off his shoes. And the ball actually looks like it actually bounced on whatever that was, that bit of debris. Sinner, false start on the serve. Break point down. He's going to go for the big wide one, isn't he? He did, and he didn't make it. It was on the ad side. Kick serve. Good rally this. De Minaur hits the net. Has a bit more time than that. De Minaur's had chances in this. This hasn't been, the one-way kind of match-up that we thought it was going to be. De Minaur has had chances. And that one, it was one of those ones that was on the verge of what was a forced error or an unforced error, shall we say. A good first serve by Jannik Sinner, but de Minaur gets it back. Now we're rallying. De Minaur backhand, forehand by Sinner. Goes for what a shot, forehand running from de Minaur. Looks like he's got control of this rally, but Sinner's still in it. Another good forehand by de Minaur, playing well, and it goes long by Jannik Sinner. De Minaur's been the better player in this second set so far. Sinner hanging on in there. And brilliant by Alex de Minaur. That running forehand up the line took everyone by surprise. And then he consolidated with a sliced backhand, which opened up the court. And Sinner could only go long with retrieving a forehand. Really nice from Alex de Minaur. Good stuff, Demon. Breakpoint number 2. Good serve, Sinner. He's coming up to the net. De Minaur's in there in time. He went for the lob. It was the wrong shot option. Completely the wrong shot option. Sinner was in the net. Go for the line if you can. Sinner read the lob all day long. Let's have a look. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh to Alex. So serving, not so much a serving volley, but a serving pickup. But he's right in at the net. De Minaur goes for the lob. Doesn't do much with the lob at all. So yeah, disappointing, de Minaur. Just now. Good rally, good running forehand by de Minaur. He's up to this one as well, but he's just absolutely flapped at one that has went wayward, and it's game point for Jannik Sinner. This will be a good escape from the Italian if he can see himself out of this particular game. He's not been on top in many rallies. It's mainly been the Australian who has been dictating and putting the pressure on. Good first serve, Sinner right down into the corner. Couldn't have placed that any better. And this time with the drive volley, puts de Minaur to the sword. And you know, I have watched this episode a million times before. The player who has just been putting pressure on pressure. You wouldn't be surprised if Jannik Sinner breaks in the very next game. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen. But you know, after all that pressure from de Minaur, he only had two break points, but he was the guy making the inroads and making the plays. He was forcing mistakes from Jannik Sinner. You're not going to get that for too long. Jannik Sinner's going to reset and replay. And yeah. I would say a fair amount, Sean. I mean, I would say that certainly in 2013, on that day of the Wimbledon, final, it pretty much came to a standstill. And that isn't kind of going, too far. I remember, everybody and their cat was watching that final. So I would say certainly when it came to the popularity of Wimbledon, but I suppose there is a greater discussion to be had. Has it? You would need to look at the next maybe 5 to 10 years and see if there's any, Scottish talents coming through and seeing if it's transferred onto the presence of players on the tennis courts. I mean, I would say Jack's your man to ask. He coaches at Newlands, Jack Edward, and he would be able to tell you if there's been an increase in the amount of youngsters joining tennis clubs, if there's been more kind of youngsters going to clubs like his and getting coaching lessons. But yeah, I mean, there's, in terms of my friend group, there's probably me and another boy who, in fact, probably me and 2 other boys who genuinely have a genuine interest in tennis, and you could hold a conversation with them. Most of the time up here, very, very football orientated on the west of Scotland. But I think he's done well. Everybody knows who Andy Murray is, and as I said to you, that Wimbledon final, the pretty much the country came to a standstill. And it was a beautiful sunny day up here in Scotland as well, and everyone was having a drink and watching Andy win Wimbledon. So yeah, no, I think he's very much loved here. The controversy from the BBC, the recent BBC article regarding legacy and him continuing. Generally the public kind of thoughts on that, where Andy can do what he wants, he's earned that right. So no, I wouldn't say it's like absolutely exploded here, and there's tennis courts popped up around everywhere because of Andy Murray in the last 10 years. But what I would say is that that he is probably a national icon. It's probably definitely. Back to these two guys. De Minaur game point to go 3-2. It's a slog. It's a slog. It's a battle. These two guys, throwing punches at each other via the tennis ball. Really enjoyable match, actually. It's flown by. I think we're about an hour and a half in, but yeah, it's absolutely flown by. Really competitive. Most games are juice right now. Really, to get a comfortable hold. So I think De Minaur's like maybe because of the records between the two players. Sinner might well go on to win this in straight sets, but I think a lot of people dismissed Alex De Minaur like the matchup isn't right. I don't see there being that much disparity between the two players. I do agree. I think Sinner's a better player, and when it comes to the crunch moments, I think Sinner has that little bit of edge. But I don't think there's a massive gap between these two players in terms of quality. I just think Alex De Minaur, I think, I like the way he plays. I think I like watching his matches. They're entertaining. And that's ultimately what we want from tennis, isn't it? It's an entertainment product where, the scripts are scriptless. So, yeah, really enjoy watching Alex De Minaur. And that's why I've kind of want him to win this. It'll be a massive, massive coup if he was to manage to turn this round now. Anyway, let's go back to it. Slice backhand by De Minaur. Forehand by Sinner. Another forehand by Sinner. Backhand by De Minaur. Probably his weakest shot, I would say, De Minaur's his backhand. His two-handed backhand. Always looks to me, when the ball leaves his racket, it's going to hit the top of the net. But yeah, so we're at deuce. Pressure now. I said to you 5 minutes ago, what would the chances have been that Jannik Sinner, after saving 2 break points in his last game, that he would go and then break the hearts of Alex De Minaur and his supporters. But good first serve down the tee by De Minaur. Good forehand. I really like that cross-court forehand, and I like that up the line by De Minaur, but the volley, not so much. And Sinner goes and puts a passing backhand down the line, just prods it down the line, almost like a toe poke in football after a poor volley. Doesn't do enough with a volley, De Minaur. That's where he's got to work on the game, I think. That volley's got to go away, and it's almost pushed up the line by the backhand of Jannik Sinner. Break point. Here we go. Sound like, what's his name? Romano, the football journalist. Fabrizio Romano. Is that his name? Can't remember. Anyway, right, the players are great shot by De Minaur, good forehand into the corner, but Sinner's guessed again, and it's went wide. Now, it looked to me that Sinner was in charge of that rally, but a running forehand by De Minaur. This one here, boom, up the line, right into the corner, had Sinner on the stretch. The next shot Sinner actually guessed, got to him plenty of time, but the pace on it allowed him to push it wide. Going to need a drink of water after this set. Good serve by De Minaur, and ace down the tee. What about you, Sean? Have you always been tennis, or have you been in any other sport? 212 km/h. Ace that was there by Alex De Minaur. 210 km/h. False or faulty first serve. Back into rallying. on the second serve. It appears that de Minaur, good length on these forehands cross court he's doing at the moment, and then he hits the net. Sinner still in this one. He's already missed up on one of the break points. De Minaur's box looking worried. De Minaur trying to pump himself up, keep himself in the mindset he can win this match. Tries to go down the tee with an ace again, doesn't get it right. We have a second serve. The Sinner going to step up. He knows there won't be a lot of pace in this one. And it's a double fault right into the net. Sinner was standing way back, mind you, and that's got to go down as an unforced error. That barely made it over the middle of the net. Yep, I agree, John. These games are pretty epic. It's a long one, and this is what we wanted. We wanted a competitive final. These Dutch tennis fans getting their money's worth. Breakpoint number 2 for Jannik Sinner. It's not going to be another double fault, is it? Just went long there from the Demon. He got it into court this time. So we're now rallying. Forehand by de Minaur. Backhand by Sinner. He's tried to go down the line with him. He tried to be too cute with it, and it's went wide of the tram lines. Breakpoint. 2 breakpoints for de Minaur in the last game. It's 2 breakpoints for Sinner in this one. As John describes, it is an epic tussle, this one. And as John has hit, you can give me a follow on Tom Grant at Tom Grant Journal on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's the journal lingo. Everybody else just still calls it Twitter, don't they? Anyway, right, backhand, miss it, forehand by Sinner gives de Minaur a game point. These guys will be choking for a wee sit down. These last 2 games have been non-stop. They need a breather. Get some electrolytes into them. Remember, hit subscribe and like this video. Get to the YouTube. Get to the Twitter. Get to the Instagram. Follow. Subscribe. De Minaur subscribing to the fact that he's still in this match. Forehand by Sinner, backhand by de Minaur. Mentioned that's probably his weakest shot for me. Not that slice backhand though. I like that one. Forehand by de Minaur. Forehand by Sinner. Forehand by Sinner. That was a great shot, but de Minaur's picked it up with a slice forehand. Still in it. It's gone long. Good rally. These guys enjoying this match, as are the Dutch crowd. Really nice stuff by both players. Forza Sinner reads a sign, and there's the Carota boys. They've not got the hats on. It must be warm inside there. First time I've seen their actual hair. But really good pickup by de Minaur there. But Sinner would not be phased. Well played. Remember, hit like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought. The 6th deuce of this game. Forehand, serve down there. Miss it. Breakpoint number 3 for Jannik Sinner. Is this finally going to be the resolve of de Minaur after passing up 2 chances in that last game? Is this finally going to be curtains for de Minaur? Takes a breath. Breakpoint number 3. We're going ad court to ad court. Just went along with the first serve. 215 kilometres per hour. Needs to get this serve in. He needs to make sure he's putting pressure on Sinner. Sinner gets the ball back in. Forehand by de Minaur. Forehand hits the net by Alex de Minaur. Is that the moment that Jannik Sinner makes it 15 wins in a row, 2 titles in a row, and wins his first Rotterdam Open in the Netherlands, and I think his 12th title overall, and then he will become the new world number 3, and he'll be hunting down Carlos Alcaraz, who will have obviously lost last night. So, yeah, we are at 3-2. We are, what, 2 hours into this one, are we? Something like that. Let me just find out for you. Really good tussle, that one. They'll be taking a well-earned breather here. Australian Open last year, it was 4 titles for Jannik Sinner. This is going to be 2 titles already, and we haven't even left February. A little bit more about it. Third consecutive, okay, yeah, there's another one. He's looking for his third consecutive ATP 500 title after the Beijing and Vienna wins at the end of last year. De Minaur looking for his second ATP title after winning Acapulco. De Minaur 25. We've already spoke about the one-handed backhands. What else is there? So we went out 64 wins. Yeah. So, yeah, Rotterdam statistics for Sinner is 68% for first serve percentage and so far in Rotterdam before today, and that turns into 81% of first serve points won. But I'd be interested to know that statage today, because I don't think it's as high as that. It's going to be as high as the previous rounds. Anyway, he's in the lead. That's all that matters. Players rallying. Miss hit by De Minaur. Goes up the line by Cand. Forehand pick up this time after a really good return by De Minaur. Forehand strike by Sinner. De Minaur slice backhand. Backhand by Sinner catches the line. They're still rallying even though it looked long. Backhand by De Minaur. They're both battling still. What an epic rally this one is. It must be about at least 30 shots. And De Minaur wins it in the end, much to the accolade of the watching Dutch. Really, really nice stuff from Alex de Minaur. He gets the first point in this, sixth game of the second set. Forehand down the line winner. So, God, these guys needed to get any fitter for the year ahead. This one will make them fit. It's been non-stop rallying. Sinner, point down. Can't remember too many times De Minaur winning the first point in the game. And he goes down the line with his second serve, and he's hit the net with his +1. And a real chance here for De Minaur. Another, looks like we've either got a break of serve or it's going to be another epic game. Let's find the statage for this, shall we? Because I don't think that Jannik Sinner has been serving as well today as previous matches. Let me just have a look. As he serves now, love 30 down, tries to go for the one out wide on the juice court. De Minaur's read it. He's went for the lob. That one's landed in, much to the surprise of Sinner. He's had to readjust. It looks like De Minaur's in charge of this rally now. And he kind of just gets that one over the net. He's tried to went for the drop shot. It was never on. De Minaur was already there anyway, and it's love 43 break points for the Australian to break straight back. This match is at least an hour and 50 minutes long. Given the stream time, and we came on just as they were coming on to court, so I think it's about an hour 45. We'll definitely hit the 2-hour barrier on this one. Good serve by Sinner. Needed that one, but it's good return by De Minaur as well. Backhand by Sinner. Slice backhand by De Minaur. Forehand cross court by Sinner. This time backhand. That looked wide, but it's not. Both players both catching the line. Backhand by Sinner. Backhand up the line by Sinner. De Minaur gets it on the stretch. Really good rally again. Forehand by well done. Right. Well done both. Sinner puts that away. Wasn't going to be denied in that point. But De Minaur side to side. Really, really nice stuff by Minaur, but this time he just ran out of loft from that forehand by Jannik Sinner. Really, really nice stuff. Sinner couldn't have done any more. Minaur, well played. Really good. Hello, Ashley. Sorry, I didn't even see good morning. Where are you, Ashley? That is morning. Morning. It's got to be the States. It's got to be West Coast, the States I'm going for. We've got a lot of watchers in the kind of West Coast or the west of the United States. So I'm going morning. 8 hours is probably the difference there. Anyway, Sinner, 2 more break points to save. We're doing a backhand rally. It's a really good down the line by Minaur. He's going to put the volley away and he breaks serve. We are back on to serve. Really nice play by Minaur. He was totally the aggressor in that game. And what a shot that is. Down the line, totally changed direction there. Took Sinner by surprise. He got it, but on the stretch. And we're at 3-all. Really nice. Anyone thinking that Minaur is taking this into a third set? I'm going to stick with it and say that he will. I think he's looking the better player, certainly in this second set. He's had chances. Strangely enough, that was probably one of the quicker games that we've had. This match. Okay, so didn't describe it very well because I was in awe, as I think Minaur is. Really good serve by Minaur out wide. Good return by Sinner for the +1. Minaur tried to finish the point early, put the one down the line. Sinner then put it cross court as he was coming into the net. Yes, Ashley. Yes. I'm going for Alex de Minaur, so you and me could be in the same side. And de Minaur comes into the net. This time it pays off. 15-all. Looks to me like de Minaur, might be trying to shorten the points a little bit here. That's twice Canada. Okay, so I said North America. I'll take that. Okay, are you on the west side of Canada then? I'm just going by the morning reference because here in the UK it is it's 4:30, just after 4:30 in the afternoon. I mean, you would probably morning. You would, in fact, you'd be morning if you were on the East Coast anyway, wouldn't you? 5 hours. de Minaur again going for the wide serve +1. Came into the net. I've said about his volleying. His volleying needs to improve if he's to make any inroads into that top 5. Because again, it was a relatively easy volley, which he's just basically flopped at, which hasn't even made the tape. It's made halfway down the net. And Sinner has a chance here again. So disappointing from Alex. Disappointing for Alex fans, i.e. Ashley and I. But a good serve. He's serving all right. Serving well. Not winning many free points off the serve. And he's just went into the net. Sinner seems to have got his groove back. And we are back with 2 break points. Break point daft they have been in this second set. They love a break point in this one. First set, I think there was 2. de Minaur took 1. Sinner took the other. In fact, no, there was 3 because Sinner broke twice. But yeah, break point in pretty much every game so far in this second set. de Minaur goes down the line with a good strong serve down the tee. That's the free point I was talking about. He needed. Sinner though, one more chance. Okay, backhand de Minaur, right, sorry. So yeah, second serve by de Minaur, return by Sinner. Wes said about the backhand by de Minaur, nothing on it. I think that Hate to say it to Alex fans. Okay, cool. Good to know, Ashley. Good to see you. I don't know if you've been here before, but if not, hit the like and subscribe button. Plenty of tennis coming from you guys in the North American. We've got Miles. I don't know if you know Miles. He's coming to us from Delray Beach later on today. He's going to be covering the Tommy Paul Taylor Fritz final. He's there. We've also got John, who's in Buenos Aires. He'll be coming to us from the final there as well. And I am just doing the walkthrough, the watch along of the Rotterdam final, which may be coming to an end. A lackluster, poor effort by Alex de Minaur right into the net. It could be curtains for de Minaur. So 4-3 to Jannik Sinner with the ball on his racket. What's happening in the east of Canada then? You'll need to be more specific so that we don't have to keep saying the east of Canada, Ashley. But yeah, what's happening? How's the weather? What's happening on this lazy Sunday? Is it just a day full of watching sports and tennis, or what are you up to? As you can tell, I'm very, very Scottish. And Jannik Sinner is very, very Italian, and he is going to become, if he wins this, the first Italian or the highest ranked Italian ever, I believe, certainly on the men's side. What was the stat I read earlier on? I should really do these stats first before saying them out loud. Yeah, number 3, becoming the highest ranked Italian in the history of the Pepperstone ATP ranking. So yeah, the highest ever man. If he gets this one, I'd imagine that'll be some celebration to mark. Should he see it out? Still a long way to go, but I just get a feeling that Alex de Minaur is now wiped. And so it would be in Sinner's benefit to keep these rallies going. Which is, and now de Minaur's on the floor. He slips. He gives the thumbs up to say he's all right. It might just be a mishap, or it might be one of the symptoms of fatigue. I don't know. Seem to struggle to get the footing back into control. And it's 15-love to Jannik Sinner. Freezing cold. Canada's on the bucket list, definitely. Sinner, good first serve. Good return by de Minaur, to be fair, but he goes long. Is that long? That's long. Hard sometimes when you don't have the sound, but that's long. 30-love to Jannik Sinner. This one could be entering the end zone. Just trying to, flirt with you North Americans. Super Bowl end zone, didn't watch it. Decided, right, for any Americans watching. Is it? Wow, John will be a happy man. So I've decided I'm going to try and get into the NFL next year, like get into not into the NFL as in a player. Like I'm going to start watching it next year. So I did one of these NFL things with my mate during the week where like you answer questions and it picks your team. And I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be my team apparently next year. If I stick to my commitment of following the NFL next year, which I'm not sure I will, because there's that much on. I've got no time. But I'll try. Anyway, back to the tennis, 30-15, Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner hits the net with a first serve. Just over the net by de Minaur. It's flopped down the line by Sinner, put high by de Minaur, and smashed away by Sinner. De Minaur seems to be running out of steam and seems to be running out of ideas. And he's a point away from being a game away for from his 12th ATP title, his second in a row, and of course that number 3 ranking in the ATP Pepperstone World Rankings. 40-15, Sinner. Where's this going? This is going out wide, guaranteed. Out wide, doesn't. Goes trying to go to T-ball, and he hits the net. Second serve, lacks. I mean, it was a good, nicely placed forehand by de Minaur. In fact, that's a really nice forehand by de Minaur, and it's went wide by Sinner. Sinner's looking up to his box, going, "What should I do here?" I mean, he's firmly in control of this match now. He's a break-up, he's a set-up, he's a point away from 5-3. And he's still, that shows he wants to win every point. Down the tee from Sinner with the serve. +1 is good as well. Looks like it's going to be long and wide by Alex de Minaur, and it's game Sinner 5-3. He's a game away from the Rotterdam Open title. Okay, so what has Alex de Minaur got left? First serve, doesn't find its mark. Double faulted at a crucial moment earlier, remember. But he gets this one in. He tries to go to the other corner. Sinner's made it. Picked up by de Minaur and got lucky there. He was in no man's land, probably wasn't even facing the court when Sinner met that ball with his racket. It looked like he was doing a kind of round the round to try and get back round. Sinner can only find the net, so it's by the point. But yeah, de Minaur, for me, after the heartbreak of losing that game at 3-all, I think the kind of fight went out of him a little bit. But I was just to say but. He's just put away an absolute block return by Sinner that only just made over the net. And de Minaur basically had the whole court to work with. Sinner was going the alternative way, and de Minaur has put it wide. As I say, seems to be that the fight's gone out of him a little bit. He's going to be gassed because of all the long rallies that he's done. He is one of the fittest and the fastest on the tour, but even these long rallies, this has been a pretty epic match. We're into hour 2 now of the match. But he gets his second serve in, Sinner back to him, goes up the court, forehand down the line, sliced backhand by de Minaur. Forehand hits the net as it went over. No, it hasn't. It's 30-15 to de Minaur. He might make the changeover. He might make Sinner serve it out for this title. And it goes wide by Sinner, 40-15. So Sean, clearly a big Sinner fan. So this is the Sinner I dreamed of 4 years ago when I started following him. Elaborate, Sean. What do you mean? Like, quite steely, doesn't kind of, no kind of missteps kind of thing. Like, got a bit of resolve about him these days, a bit of character. Is that what you mean? Like, or I would like you to elaborate on that point. As he finds a net, and Alex de Minaur has won that game. It's not over yet, and he's going to make Jannik Sinner serve for this Rotterdam Open title. This ATP 500 as his third in a row after Beijing and Vienna. Jannik Sinner is a game away from winning this one. It'll be his 15th win in a row. He hasn't lost. I think is it since Djokovic in the final of the ATP finals. Am I right in saying that? And that includes Davis Cup. Let me just double check that. Will we? Oh. So for Sinner fans, this is good time. Follow me, Tom, on at Tom Grant Journal. So give me a follow. I often tweet about tennis, football, or life. My latest tweet, I think, was to do with the Manchester City midfielder Rodri, who's been having a moan again. He likes to moan, that guy. Scotland beat Spain in March last year, and he was basically complaining about the weather or something, or the atmosphere. Boo, we don't like Rodri. Anyway, back to the tennis. Sinner up nice and early as he's set to serve for his 12th ATP title, his third ATP 500 in a row. He's going to be number 3 in the world should he win the next, or get to 4 points in the next few minutes. Good serve. Goes up to the corner. de Minaur's on the stretch, puts away the smash. de Minaur's going to be there as well. No, he's not. He looks focused. That may be what Sean is referring to. The Italians in the crowd are enjoying that one. It was the old +1 out wide into the other corner, and then the smash put away rather conveniently. Well done, Jannik Sinner. 3 points away. First serve doesn't find its marker. Second serve. It was a much slower second serve. Wonder if that was to kind of try and put de Minaur off, and a total miss hit by Sinner finds a net. de Minaur fighting as he fights most matches. 15-0. Yeah, Sean, I think you've been on a stream with me before, and I think you did mention your enjoyment of the Sinner game, and you'll enjoy that serve. It's a really strong first serve. Is he going to go back the way? Yes, he does. 30-15. He punches the air. He knows he's nearly there. He's nearly there to the Rotterdam Open, replacing Daniil Medvedev. There's the Karate boys. They're the second outing on the camera. Again, the hoods aren't up. The hair is showing. No ginger in sight out the four of them, ironically. But he's 2 points away. de Minaur has fought hard. Maybe it was been a bit presumptuous to think he could take this a little bit further. He's fought hard, but he's been outplayed nonetheless. Good first serve again by Sinner, and he wrong foots de Minaur. The fight is nearly over for him. It's 40-15, 2 championship points for Jannik Sinner. And what are the bets he will do it with? A serve ace out wide. Will he wrong foot him, go down the tee? He looks up to his box. One final fist pump just to say, go for it, finish it off. Championship point. Out wide, goes long, de Minaur. Sinner wins it. The favourite, the number 1 seed, takes the Amsterdam Open. His box embrace. So do the Italian fans in the crowd. The much loved Italian becomes world number 3, and the players embrace at the net. They have a smile together. Good friends off the court as well. He congratulates de Minaur. Sinner nearly knocks him out by nearly hitting him with his hand when he's trying to shake the umpire's hand. But Sinner takes the accolade off the crowd. That's 15 matches in a row the last defeat Djokovic at the ATP finals. He's won Melbourne, he's now won Rotterdam, he's won everything he's entered so far. It's 2 titles already, and we're in the middle of February. It's going to be a big year for Jannik Sinner if he stays injury-free. But he takes that match in 2 sets, 7-5, 6-4. Really strong tussle between the pair of them. Yeah, Greenwich, I think that's a good question. Really, he's backed up the win in Melbourne to show that he is the man to beat right now. And the first guy to do it is Leighton Hewitt. Let me check that for you, Ashley, before I exit stage left. Okay, so you might be right. You might be right. Anyway, I am going to shuffle off and make my departure. It's been a quite enjoyable one. Really enjoyed that match. Some really good. Yeah, no, well done, Ashley, on that. Bravo, Sinner. Remember, give me a follow, hit the like button, get over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Lots more to come. We have, I think, Miles from Delray Beach later on this evening, where Tommy Paul and Taylor Fritz face off. Yeah, no problem. Ashley, it's been good to have you join me, and hopefully we will speak again in the near future. We've also got John out in Buenos Aires for the Argentina Open final, where Damien will be calling that one, as you can see by the comments as well. And I'm sure you will get some exclusive content with John being on the ground there. I'm sure he'll dial in to the stream and be able to kind of give you some insights that you'll not be able to get anywhere else. So there you go, a pre-match appearance from John Silk. You know, he's like the Scarlet Pimpernel. So if you get him on stream, make sure you make the most of it. But yeah, guys, right, I'm going to exit. Thank you very much for that, for joining us. It's been a good one, this one. Really enjoyed it. Well played, Jannik Sinner. And I'll see you guys all next time. Plenty of tennis coming up. See you later.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play. Welcome everyone. Let's start the press conference. Please, questions in English.
Jannik, congratulations. This afternoon, did you play the match of your life? And what did it feel like playing that match?
Match of my life, I don't know, but it's for sure very important. You know, as I say, it helps a lot. The last competition, that is a team competition, and because you get a lot of energy from your teammates, from the whole team, and then the crowd is different. And I really enjoyed playing today. It was a great match. I started off really well, and obviously in the second set he raised his level, and the third set I just tried to hold my service games and waiting for a good opportunity, which arrived on 5-all, and I took it. And obviously it was a very crucial match for the whole team, and at the end of the match I was really happy for the team to be at least able to play a deciding doubles, and you know, we played really good, and I think it was a really positive day today.
Jannik, I just wanted to ask you about the 3 match points that you saved at 4-5 in the third set in the singles. Can you just talk us through what was going through your head? How did you remain calm in those moments, and what were you trying to do in each of those points?
I know that it was a really important, obviously, important game. We changed not for so long for new balls. So I knew if I'm gonna serve well that maybe I have some free points. But I had to stay in the present moment. It was love 40 and he missed a quite easy backhand, which gave me a little bit of confidence and belief. And then after I served twice really good. And nothing, you know, after this kind of games, your energy level and then mental level, it's racing, and I think this helped me today.
Jannik, over here. I'm not sure anyone else can maybe say they've beaten Novak Djokovic twice in one afternoon. What does that achievement mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, before the match, we were talking that it was a really important test today. You know, trying to understand what to expect before the match, and then I think we made a good tactical moment also before the match, and obviously playing it is a little bit different, but I think I have to be really proud about how I handled the situation. And as I said, I'm just very happy for all of us, for the team, and then tomorrow we have a great opportunity. We know this, but in the other way we will try to stay as relaxed as possible, you know, keeping the smile in our head, which is important also, and then also to be happy to be here. No, it's not so many. For me, it's the first time that we can play a final in Davis Cup, which it means a lot for us.
One last question in English, over there.
Jannik, just looking forward to the final, and to the other guys, please, as well. Apparently, the Australian team that you're facing in the final, you'll be playing Minaur, presumably, in the second match, and you've got this extraordinary hold over him. I think he's only going to take one set off you. How much of an advantage do you think that is for you, and what confidence does that give you?
Well, we don't know who is gonna play.
Se ti faccio giocare.
Yeah, we have to decide. We have to. You know, I have a lot of hours in my leg. This I know. If I play against him, it's gonna be different. You know, finals, as I said, it's always different. But let's see. It's his decision. He's the captain of the team, and so he can answer you that.
What do you say?
Thanks, Jannik. No, obviously it's our point of power. Jannik give us a lot of energy, give us a lot of confidence in ourselves. Obviously, he's a great player, but he's not only a great player. So he's a great person. That's what I like. So yeah, he's probably in the first position to play tomorrow.
What do you think of the Australian team?
Strong, different. Different from Serbians. Maybe closer than Netherlands as singles and doubles. But still, we have to take care of us, thinking about tomorrow, enjoying today, but focus for tomorrow. So head to tomorrow.
We switch into Italian, per favore, domande in Italian.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Boris Becker Holger Rune partnership, but you could also tell me about, you know, Holger and 2024 and maybe where he could go and where maybe he needs to improve.
Yeah, I think Boris is a great addition to his team. You know, you've got Holger, who's a young player, somewhat of an impulsive player, unbelievably good at coming forward. You know, this is who Medvedev should look at and just go and look at Holger Rune playing, because anything a little bit short, Holger's all over the net. So, you know, Boris brings credibility to win big titles. When you've got a coach, you know, this great picture you've got there, when you're looking in your coach's eyes and your coach has been number one, your coach has won multiple Grand Slams, has been an icon of our sport from a young age, I think it's a great mix. And, you know, Boris is coming out of personal troubles, and for him to be, you know, readily accepted by the rest of the tennis community and tennis fraternity straight back on tour. Boris was so engaging at in Turin. I was in the front row. He was about 15 seats down on my right, and he was standing constantly. To start with, I thought, well, his leg's sore. He needs to stand because, you know, his knee's bad. But, he brought so much energy to Holger and so much positive energy, but also strength as well. So I think that is a really good connection. I think Holger will benefit from that for sure. And I think Holger Rune has an excellent year next year, you know, a really good year. He's got such a good all-court game, probably the best all-court game since Federer retired. So his ability to jump on a short ball, his ability to attack, his ability to serve and volley, his ability to come forward with a forehand down the line when standing with 2 feet behind the baseline is probably the gold standard right now. And he just needs, you know, the forehand can get a bit impulsive. He can spray a bit with that. He can get too antsy when things aren't going his way. You know, you can see them, you know, the nerves go up a little bit. He just needs to stay calm. He needs to chill. He needs to breathe. He needs to take his time. There's nothing that there's no problem that he needs to solve. He just needs to not beat himself. And those are the messages that he needs to really take on board for next year. And, you know, he, at some stage next year, he could be number 2 in the world, challenging Novak for number 1.
his game when the big occasions come up. So he has to be one of the top favorites. I truly believe we had a podcast ourselves yesterday, which I do with Patrick Kuhnen called Mad Dog and Wingman. And we spoke about that obviously as well, the outlook. And I picked Carlos Alcaraz as the winner this year. Just because he won just his first title on grass. I think he is extremely, in a way, extremely able to adapt to situations and to challenges, not just because he has the game, just because he's loving it. You know, he loves it to challenge himself. And I think he has learned a lot of players. When you look back at the French Open semifinals against Novak, his breakdown, his physical and mental breakdown, with a lot of players, you would say like, well, they would struggle with that for the next weeks and months to come. I think with Alcaraz, he has learned a huge lesson from that match, and it will never happen again to him. I think it made him even stronger and a better player. And that's why I really feel like he believes he can Wimbledon, and he wants to prove to the world that that was a one-off and it's not going to happen again. And I think if you would look at it and he would be honest, maybe he would say like, I want to play the final against Novak and I want to prove to the people that's not going to happen again and I'm able to win this. So my pick really is Carlos Alcaraz.
I know we're coming to the end now, Michael, but I have got one more point.
Nick, by the way, some people might be surprised to see him, but I'm wondering if he saw the late lineup change or late lineup introduction of Jethro and thought, I need to get in on some of that. Nick?
That's exactly what happened, John. That is exactly what happened. Because let's face it, Jethro is the most elusive member of the team. And, clearly he's clearly you're being a little bit more needy towards him. But Jethro or not, because clearly that's going to be the theme for the stream, and I think Ashley is going to be very sad that she's missing out on the opportunity.
Well, indeed. Talking of Ashley, I want to share this tweet that good afternoon from Malaga, and good morning from somewhere central in the US, right, Craig?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas is the capital, right?
It is the capital of Texas, exactly.
Lance Armstrong, is that his
This is Lance's country. He spent a lot of time. It's a lot of undulating terrain, a lot of hills, great for biking. Biking is everywhere here.
Are you a biker?
My wife is. No, I was out on my bike this morning on my mountain bike, running my dogs on the trail behind my house. So that's about the extent of my biking.
Craig, you're certainly an early riser, and I noticed it from your picks at Wimbledon this year as you were enjoying the early opportunities to taste and savour centre court. But we're not here to talk about Wimbledon. That's for the European summer. We're in the midst of European winter, although fortunately here in Malaga it's still pretty sunny. So let's get to Turin. You were there, right?
Yes, I was. Yeah, for the almost the entire time. I came back Saturday and then did a report for the ATP on Sunday here from Austin.
Got it. Okay. Let's begin with the final. I think we have to. The first question I have for you regarding the final is sort of where was it won and lost, especially thinking about the round robin stage and some of the differences between those two matches?
Yeah, I was courtside, front row, right on the baseline for the round robin match between Novak and Jannik. And when Novak gets a little passive, when he's not quite, dictating out there on the court, he hits too many backhands. That's the MO. He always has. When I worked with him 2017 to 2019, I was always cognizant of the backhand to forehand ratio. When he's humming, he's looking for that runaround forehand. The runaround forehand has three benefits. It's upgrade, double, and freeze. The upgrade is I'm putting the forehand and the backhand is the sword and the shield. So when the ball is hit to his backhand, instead of him using his shield, he puts the shield down and picks the sword up. From the back of the court, it's about 75% winners from the forehand side. So certainly when he hits the runaround forehand, which accounts for the majority, the runaround forehand for Novak in the ad court has more forehand winners than forehands in the deuce court. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to hit the runaround forehand. Secondly, you can double the target area. You can go inside in, inside out, much easier than with the backhand. The backhand sometimes is even inside out going down the line. And lastly is that you freeze the opponent so that when you do the runaround forehand, they can't tell from your positioning where it's going. So upgrade, double, freeze really makes the runaround forehand very, very potent. And when Novak's not hunting that and he's settling for backhand, sometimes when he gets nervous, he knows the backhand's going to go in. He doesn't mind hitting backhands, but it's not really hurting opponents. He got away with it in Paris. In the final, he had a lot of backhands. But in this match, Sinner was crushing backhands. He was just roping them to, corner to corner through the ad court. And it was to Sinner's benefit. And Novak, didn't really pick that up. He was cruising till 5-all in the first set, 5-all 40 love. And he loses that game. He got tight. He served a double-folded deuce. Sinner was crushing balls. He hit Novak served and volleyed at 40 love. Probably shouldn't have because it gave Sinner a target. Sinner hit a backhand winner that went right through the line. And from then on, Novak immediately got into it with the crowd. The arms are going up. And he got distracted. And he didn't see the game plan as clearly as he needed to. And Sinner was just dominating ad court exchanges. Sinner was the one wearing the pants from the baseline. And because Novak was distracted, he didn't pick up on all of this. So for the rest of the match, he was, even though it's 7-6 in the third, it was one of those matches where it was just a matter of time. Jannik was always had the better strategy. Novak was having to dip into higher risk patterns at play. And, Jannik won. But in the final, he adjusted. I don't know whether he read my analysis. It kind of looks like the carbon copy of what he should do if he had read it. But he came out firing. He came out looking for forehands. He came out dictating with his forehands. He said he changed strategy. So we're going to assume he did. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make that adjustment? So He played much better and much more strategically in his favor in the final. Sorry, John, I can't hear you right now.
I put myself on mute, Craig, and forgot to take it off.
Yeah, well, that happens to the best of us.
Maybe that happened to Novak in his first encounter, and it didn't happen to him in the final with Sinner. What I was really interested in, it's great that we've got you on right now, because actually strategy was something that was mentioned quite a bit by both players in a way. That Jannik said he expected a different Novak in the final and a different strategy. Novak talked about some of the things that happened to him in his press conference, I think, in the first match when he said he was maybe a bit too passive in the big moments and the big points, and that wouldn't happen again. And of course, they did end up playing in the final. So I thought that sort of conversation, I think I remember Jannik saying something like, I know he's got a plan, or I know he's going to be different in the final. And I thought that element was particularly intriguing, but particularly how the final went. If we got the same result, then we could have maybe thrown changes of plans and strategies out the window. But because we got a wildly different result, I thought that was particularly intriguing. What about Sinner? What could and should he have done maybe different in the final?
Yeah, and just before I answer that, going back to what you said, there's the other layer of that is it's a monumental achievement to beat Novak at any stage, especially in a year like this where he's dominating so much. I think he only lost 6 matches for the entire year. But to beat him once, congratulations, that's awesome. To beat him twice in a row, almost impossible. Almost impossible. So the fact that Jannik had won the first encounter, I think just in general, from a belief standpoint, from now Novak's got a lot more motivation. He's got revenge on his side. He's got the final. He's got his legacy. He's got, adding to his career. I think he's up to 98 or 99 tournament victories now. To beat Novak twice in a row is literally almost impossible. So Jannik had that against him. Jannik tapped out early and panicked too early in the point in the final. And I would give Novak a lot of credit for that, because Novak came out pummeling forehands. His average forehand speed was much higher than Jannik's. I don't remember exactly, but it was significantly higher. And so now Jannik's playing a little bit more off the back foot. Jannik's forehand historically is the side that can get loose. His backswing is quick. His backswing is quite big. He goes after it. He doesn't have a great defensive forehand. When he gets pushed into that corner, position A, out wide in the juice court, that's historically where he starts spraying forehands. He is improving in that area. It did get better, but he wasn't tested in that area in the round robin stage because there was just so many backhand exchanges. But in the final, Novak made sure that he brought extra speed to that corner and extra pressure to that corner. And early on, I wrote about, I think, Novak hit, his first 11 forehands. I think he extracted 4, 5, maybe even 6 errors from Jannik's side of the court. And right from the start, Novak going up 3-1, it just had a completely different feel than the semi-final. And you just tell on Jannik's face,